During the winter just gone, I made it my target to get out on the bank and fish for pike as much as I possibly could. The target was to break my PB, which has stood for around 10 years. Now, on the last couple of winters, I have managed to get out on the bank for pike, and I have had pretty good success catching a number of single-figure pike in low doubles. Now, the aim this winter was to try and get into some bigger fish. Now, I based my approach and based my campaign mainly on my local river, which was still a bit of a mystery. Not many people had fished it for pike, or at least I haven't spoke to many people that have fished it for pike. And I'd also set in mind a target of a local day-ticket fishery, Todber Manor, which I know holds very good pike up into the £20 mark. So this was to be the set for my winter campaign pike fishing. Well, good morning, you join me back out targeting pike on the river. Going to be using dead baits today to hopefully see if we can tempt ourselves out the pike. Now, the aim of today is to keep moving. There's 3 or 4 swims that I have in mind that I want to fish. I've got 3 or 4 hours, so hopefully what we're going to do is give ourselves about half an hour to an hour in each swim, cast the dead bait about. I've only got the one rod, cast it about and see if we can pick ourselves up a pike like that. So the tactics I've opted for today are a float leisure dead bait, and as you can see just along the line up here I've got a stop knot set about 5 foot in depth, which is just about the depth of the river in front of me. As you move down, I've got a bead there to run up against the stop knot. I've got the float, another bead, down to a lead clip system with an 1.5 ounce lead. That's plenty enough to stop the bottom. And then down to my wire trace there with 2 size 8 trebles, and using a lovely juicy smelt as bait to begin with. So without further ado, let's cast it in, and hopefully it won't be long before we're into a pike. Nothing interested there in the first 20-30 minutes, so with fishing the one rod I am going to try and keep the bait moving as much as possible, try and find where the fish are. Especially on a river where there's so much water to cover, we don't know where the pike are. Especially, this is a stretch that I've never fished before. I only fished the once with the lures and had no luck, but to find the fish, it is going to be a case of moving in, dropping in and out of different swims, given an hour in each swim with a few different casts into a few different locations, and hopefully we can pick ourselves up a pike doing that. Well, there we go. Only a little baby, but it's a start to the day. First swim, been here about an hour, and the smelt's doing the business. So we'll get this little one back, get the bait back out, and see if we can catch one quite a bit bigger. Still a bit frozen because I've only just taken them out of the freezer when I left home, so not ideal. This is a swim I wanted to give a go. It's got a little bit of current going through today.
I still think it's worth a go, just under in this little bit of slack water just here. So I think we'll pop the dead bait down there for 20 minutes or so and see if we can tempt ourselves a pike. Well, we've just come into the second swim, as you can see behind me, the nice little sort of road, sort of public footpath bridge, which creates, it's actually 3 tunnels that go underneath or over the top of the bridge, creating some nice slacks in obviously faster water as well. Now, there is still a little bit more water than I was anticipating coming through the river today. Give it a go for 20 minutes and I think we'll move on to another swim where we can find a bit more slack water. But we're not blanking, so I am a very happy man. Well, unfortunately no luck in that final swim, so going to be heading back to the car, hopefully be back out again soon, trying to catch ourselves one of those double figure pike.
Well, my second trip to the river was rather unsuccessful. I turned up to the stretch I wanted to fish and it was just unfishable. Unfortunately, we had a lot of rain this winter, which kept the river in flood for the majority of the time that I was able to get on the bank. After arriving to the stretch, it was a chocolate brown, the river was raging through down the stretch and there are a lot of debris coming down. It just wasn't ideal conditions for lure fishing. So I decided to head to a local club lake. There's 2 lakes on this particular venue and they're old monk ponds, stocked with carp. I didn't know if there was going to be any pike in there, but I thought it was worth having a go considering the conditions weren't great. But unfortunately that trip also resulted in a blank. But it wasn't long until I was back out on the river. I had a spare few hours and I was trying to catch some perch, doing a bit of jigging.
Well, good afternoon ladies and gents, joining me back down on the river, but this time we're doing something a little bit different than pike fishing, as you would have seen me doing recently. Going to actually be doing some jigging for perch. Got a few of the worms and the idea is to walk along the river. We've probably got a couple of hours, so hopefully we can cover a good amount of water in that time and hopefully we can catch ourselves a few perch and hopefully a decent sized one as well. So I'll switch over to the action camera and let's get into it. Got myself a nice 5 gram weight on there, weedless style hook, and a nice juicy looking worm, and hopefully that's going to catch ourselves a monster perch. We can but hope. I just had a knock, that's for sure. Something just had a grab, maybe it caught the edge of the tail. Definitely felt something take a bite out of it. Whether it just grabbed the end of the tail, I don't know. Look at the floating crust coming down along the side of the river. Must be some anglers upstream that are either fishing or feeding the ducks. Some walkers maybe feeding the ducks. Don't see that every day though. Well, I think this is going to be the last couple of casts, guys. We're going it a couple of hours. Drop shotting with the worm. We've had a couple of hits, but nothing's materialised in terms of fish. Give it one last cast and we'll knock it on the head.
My second aim this winter was to try out as many different lures as I possibly could. This became my lure review series, which you can also check out on my channel. I mainly fished Todber Manor as I knew this was going to be the best chance to get some action, and I actually made a number of different trips with different lures and had really good success.
Oh, and we're in straight away. Look at that, first cast with the Daiwa Pro Rex. And we're in. What a result that is. There's another pike just crashed as well. Oh, there's loads of pike here feeding. There's not just the one. Well, what a result that is, guys. First cast with a Daiwa Pro Rex. We've only gone and hooked ourselves a nice little jack. There's definitely more fish to be had in this area, because as soon as that one took it, the whole place erupted. Let's get her unhooked. What a lovely fish. And there we go, nicely unhooked. There we go then, first pike of the day on the Daiwa Pro Rex. Probably just a 6-7 pound mark, but what a lovely start. There's definitely more fish to be had out there. So we'll slip her back and see if we can get ourselves another one. What a start. Today I'm going to be testing out the Savage Gear 3D River Roach. Don't know whether that went over a branch or something. You get that initial like rush of adrenaline as you put on the lure. That's a pike. Yes! And we're in. There we go. I knew there'd be a pike hugging that reed line. Yes, we got him. We got him. Nowhere near as big as the one that we lost earlier, but a fish is a fish, that's for sure. And this is one of the best things about this particular lure, is that how it's rigged. As soon as that pike attacks, obviously the hook comes out of the body, and then the lure itself just slides up and down the trace, so you don't get as much damage as you would if the lures were fixed in, if the hooks were fixed into the actual lure. Lovely jubbly. Well, there we go, the river roach showing just how effective it actually is. We've only been fishing about 25 minutes. We've lost one, and then we've had this one. A little jack. Unfortunately we lost the bigger one, but you can't complain, can you, when you're having a bit of sport in winter. Let's slip her back and try and get another one. There we go, she's ready to go already, look. Well recovered. It's always important with pike to make sure they're well rested before you let them go, but this one's strong enough to swim off. She's ready to go, and there she goes. What a result. With the river consistently in flood this winter, my last pike fishing trip saw me return to Wobmill at Todber Manor, where I had a rather productive few hours with the lures. The temperature is around 2 to 3 degrees today, so it is still quite chilly. And when I've got here, there are a few signs that there's pike activity on the lake. And talking to the guys at the shop, a few pike did come out yesterday, and reports already. I've spoken to a few anglers, and a few have come out this morning. So I'm hopeful we can get ourselves into a pike. So without further ado, let's get the rod set up, put the lure on, and then chuck it out and see if we can catch a pike. Right, well, here we go. First swim of the afternoon. Going to be starting off with the Western shad tees with the stinger, the single stinger. Oh, that was a bite first cast. It's a little bit delayed there, didn't set the hook. That's a good sign for things to come. First cast and we had a hit straight away. That is very promising. Wow. Definitely didn't feel the hook. Hopefully he'll come back for more. These shad teasers have got a nice wobble to them. You can fish them slow. They just wobble from side to side. Nice tight roll on the body with that big tail flapping just behind. You can't beat a paddle tail. Ah, we're in. Yes. Slowed up the retrieve. There we go, a nice little jack. And he's in the net. Lovely jubbly. Probably a nice couple of pounder, probably a nice 2-pounder I'd say. And there we go, a nice little jack, probably around the couple of pound mark. Give him a little hold up. There we go. Like I said, nice lively fish, probably around 2 pounds. Nice set of chops on him as well. He was a hungry little fella. Let's get him back. Hopefully we can get ourselves his mummy. There she goes. First cast where I tried an extra slow sort of retrieve, and straight away it's been absolutely nailed. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come. One thing I do like about the swim baits, the soft swim baits, is with the hard lures, you tend to find that as soon as a pike takes it and grabs it, it realises that it's not a live fish. Whereas with a swim bait, because it's that soft jelly action, you get a bit of a, you typically usually get a bit longer to settle that hook. And he was absolutely nailed. Treble just inside the mouth. Yes, we're in. We're in. Not enough. Not a bad little fish by the looks of it. There we go. There we go, another nice jack. Probably again around the 2-3 pound mark. You can't ask for more when you've come out just for a quick afternoon session. You've ended up with 2 fish, caught all on the western shad tees. What a nice looking pike. Lovely, let's get her back. Away he goes to fight another day.
Well, I had a great winter's pike fishing, catching several decent pike. Unfortunately beating my PB, it wasn't meant to be this winter. Hopefully next winter will produce a monster. Thank you very much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It is very much appreciated. And until the next time, I'll catch you later.